Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to IP Network Venture. And today I'll be talking about different IP address ranges, private versus public, and why is it so important. If you are starting your career as a network engineer or a network administrator or an analyst, you need to know the difference between private IP addresses and public IP addresses. In nutshell, in simplest way, private IP addresses are addresses that you assign to your computers in-house, and these addresses are usually not routable, whereas the public addresses are the public IP address ranges that is assigned by an ISP to one of their edge nodes and to their network, so they are routable to the internet. So that's basic summary of the difference between the two IP address ranges. Now let's go into the details. As we said, private IP addresses are a range of IP addresses set aside by INA. INA is the authority, which is Internet Assigned Number Authority, for use within the private networks. These addresses are not routable on the global internet and are meant to be used within the local area networks to allow devices to communicate with each other. Devices within a network using private IP addresses need to use NAT, which is the Network Address Translation, to communicate with devices on the public internet. Any firewall, stateful firewall, next generation firewall will be able to do NAT, and that's the basic functionality of the firewall, plus the security and access list that you need to apply on these firewalls to protect your internal network from the cloud, from the internet, from the public view. So please keep that in mind. Firewall will be very important for private organizations to secure their internet edge. The private IP addresses are a set of classes. They have three classes, class A, B, and C, and those ranges are, for class A, it's 10.0.0.0 to 10.255.255.255. And the second one is class B, which is 172.16.0.0 all the way to 172.31.255.255, and that's basically a /12 network. Class C, on the other hand, is 192.168.0.0, and it goes all the way to 192.168.255.255, and that has a subnet mask of /16. So things developed to IPv6 as well. IPv6 is assigned as FC00::/7. And the last thing is these private IP ranges help conserve the limited number of available public IP addresses and provide an additional layer of security, since devices with private IP addresses are not directly accessible from the internet, which is a good thing. So far, this is how security was in place, because private state private and public state public with one channel of communication, which was through NAT. And let's jump into now public IP addresses. Public IP addresses, on the other hand, are unique addresses assigned to devices that are accessible over the internet. These devices are routable on the global internet and are required for any device that needs to communicate with other devices on different networks. Public IP addresses are assigned by ISPs, as we said, and are globally unique, ensuring that each device on the internet has distinct address. The key points about public addresses are: number one, uniqueness. Each public IP address is unique across the entire internet, which prevents address conflicts and ensures proper routing of internet traffic. Assignment. Public IP addresses are typically assigned by ISP to their customers, including individuals, businesses, and organizations. The assignments can be static or dynamic. So that's all I could say. So simple example is, let's say you are opening an office and you need internet access. You go ahead and you sign a contract with an ISP and you tell them you need an internet circuit with public or dynamic addressing, and they will go ahead and provide you with the edge router or a modem based on if it's a fiber or a coax, and they will basically give you a handoff cable to plug it to your firewall. So that's the basic way of connecting a public IP address to your office. Now, the range. Public IP addresses can fall within the range of 1.0.0.0 all the way to 223.255.255.255 for IPv4, and for IPv6 is very large. It's 2001:0 db 8:/32. Visibility. Devices with public IP addresses are directly accessible from any other device on the internet, making them suitable for web servers, email servers, and other services that need to be publicly reachable. Security consideration. Because public IP addresses are exposed to the entire internet, devices with these addresses are more susceptible to attacks. Therefore, security measures such as firewalls and intrusion detection systems are essential. It's not that we need the security and intrusion detection systems for IPv6 only. We have also applied security measures for IPv4 as well environments, which is kind of, something really important now if you consider security. Public IP addresses enable the global reach of the internet by allowing devices from different networks to communicate with each other, facilitating activities such as web browsing, email, and online services. I think we are good with that. We understand why these public IP addresses are routing through the internet because of their uniqueness, and basically that's how internet is expanding. Now let's compare the ranges. Here is the range. The private IP range, as we said and I mentioned in my first slide, is class A 10.0.0.0 all the way to 10.255.255.255. Class B is 172.16.0.0 to 172.31.255.255. Class C is 192.168.0.0 all the way to 192.168.255.255. Now, when it comes to public range, it all starts with 1.0.0.0 all the way to 126.255.255.255 for Class A, and Class B is 128.0.0.0 all the way to 191.255.255.255. Class C is 192.0.0.0 all the way to 223.255.255.255. I think I have one. Some of these IP ranges, public IP ranges, are used for multicasting and for QoS deployment, so we won't go into those details, but some of them are reserved for that reason, of multicast and QoS deployments by the ISPs. And yes, and I have adjusted the range here for Class C. It's from 192.0.0.0 all the way to 223.255.255.255. And with this, I conclude this topic, and I hope it was useful for anyone. If you have enjoyed the video and if you have learned, please like and subscribe for more.